over and over again until you're pouring with sweat and you've got blisters on your hands, or at least your muscles are aching. In this martial arts class, you'll discover how to use a Japanese bow staff for beginners. Grab your bow or other martial arts long staff and follow me. Start with the staff in either hand. You're gonna hold right in the middle of the staff and you're gonna turn all the way as far as you can in one direction and then swing it all the way back the other direction. This is a warm-up turn. It's not yet a spin. Just warming up the wrists, strengthening the forearms, stretching the tendons, moving the blood through the body. You're getting everything prepared to stay safe from injury during this workout. Put that into the other hand and do the same thing. Just turning, your pinky goes to the sky and then you turn it all the way until it almost goes to the sky. As you start to speed that up, you'll see it's going to stretch even more. So if your staff is really heavy, start nice and slow. If you've got a light staff, you can go faster sooner. Now, put it in one hand and then into the other hand, taking it back and forth, continuing this warm-up stretch while you're starting to transfer the staff from one hand to the next. This workout today is all about fighting with your Japanese bow or combat bow and spins, so putting spins into strike combinations. You asked me to do a kata, maybe a form. I find you can get a lot done with a couple of combinations, and I'll work on that kata for you. I'll give you a bow staff kata, or pumse as they say in Korean, with your jangbong, your long staff, that you can practice. But today, we're gonna keep it simple. Now that should be pretty well warmed up. Go into a wrist roll, which is over the back of your hand, going one direction, and then a wrist roll in the other direction. This is all about getting properly warmed up for the workout, but it's also about proprioception, spatial awareness. Knowing where the staff moves in space and time and how you can control it. You're just going over the hand in one direction and then back the other direction. You've done about 30 seconds on one hand, put it into the other hand, do the same thing. And you'll see what I started with was assisting that spin with this other hand, this hand. And when it's here, my hand just turns, takes it. When it comes through again, assisting hand. And then get that assisting hand out of the way, one direction and the other one. And now you're getting more kinetic energy in the spin. You're creating more momentum that you have to now stop. Send it back the other way or spin it the other way is gonna cause your arm and your hand to work more, building more power, devastating, knockout, destructive, defend yourself, street fight self-defense power with your bow staff. You want a good street fight self-defense weapon? Not many better than a staff, a martial arts long stick. All right, 30 seconds on that hand. And now I want you to go into your striking. Step behind the staff. Put the staff between you and the threat. Point your thumb at the threat. That puts the staff into that back hand, just like that. And then from here, I want you to lunge into that strike, turning this hand up. Now I tried keeping this hand down, and when I hit something hard, I get too much movement here. I collapse more and they get closer to me. Here, I don't collapse at all, I go back. So you asked me in one of the videos, would you prefer to do it this way or prefer to keep the palm down on that back hand? And I'm gonna say definitively, after striking for about 10 or 15 minutes over and over again, it's gotta be hundreds of strikes for me, right? Because I've done it for so long. This is very weak. And see how that bends that wrist? See how that wrist is straight? I have what's called a tendon lock. Tendon lock in martial arts is what's behind all of the blocking. These tendon locks, that's what keeps your body moving back behind your guard instead of collapsing under the weight of the attack. So I want you to turn your hand up, this palm up, this palm down. Get behind it, point your thumb at the threat, thrust. This thrusting or spearing motion is the first strike. From here to here, thrust, and now I want you to thrust behind you. Now you're using the other tip to hit the guy or the threat that's coming behind you. So from here, thumb, thrust, thrust, pushing back. Now, the third strike, you're going to shift the staff down a little bit. See what I'm doing? This is all I'm doing. That's how you move it. Your hand doesn't come off. You go up, you go down. I create more length back there. I hit that guy, and then I'm gonna bring it forward and hit you with a threat coming at me to the front. From here, stepping in, turning my hips, my shoulders, my stomach's up and in, my abs are tight, and I smash with the bottom part of my staff. That's 3 strikes now. From here, thumb. Your thumb goes at the threat. That puts the stick between you and the threat. Jam right in with that thrusting motion. And then push straight back. As you come forward, you're gonna allow this hand to slide. See that? 2 things are happening. 1, I'm getting more length. Getting more length. 2, that pushing this up while I'm coming forward, that increases my speed exponentially as I come forward. So from here, coming forward, my body slides forward, and I hit you hard with the bottom part of that staff. Then I want to take this backhand and come down at an angle, breaking your clavicle. Down at an angle, breaking your clavicle. You're up to 4 strikes. From here, step behind it, point your thumb, thrust, jam, straight back, slide down, and then, like a punch right to the face, that backhand across the jaw. That's the 5th strike. Get behind it. Always put the weapon between you and the threat. Talking about self-defense, situational awareness is always number 1. Pay attention. Know what's happening around you before, so you can respond because you've prepared instead of panic because you're not paying attention and you haven't trained your body and you don't know how to use a weapon. So you're behind it. Point your thumb. Thrust. Thrust back. Slide forward. Punch down. Punch across. And finally, I'm going to take this small side of the back side and jam right through their eyeball, right through your face, just like that. From here to there. That's the last strike. And then you're going to turn it. That's the wrist roll. Let's go back here. That's that wrist roll. You're gonna push it into the other hand so that now your other palm is facing up and the other palm is facing down. So you're behind it. Point your thumb. Thrust, thrust, sweep, strike, strike, thrust. Bring it back to the middle. My left hand, if I were to push it here, left palm is up. The right palm is down. I'm gonna push it over that right hand. Push it. Do you remember this? That's that wrist roll. That's all you're doing. So I was here. I just finished my last strike, which was that sliding right into your face motion. Push it. Now my right palm is facing up, my left palm is facing down. Step back with your left, forcefully drive it to the ground. It's a mental cue. You're cueing your mind. You're saying, prepare to fight. It's a combat bow. This is how you defend yourself with a martial arts weapon, street fight self-defense. Jam that thing on the ground. Point your thumb. Thrust, thrust back. Slide, downward strike. Strike across the jaw, right through their face or their throat. Bring it back to the middle. Pushing it over this time, the left hand. Step back with the right. This is your starting position. 1, 2, 3. Down, across, in. Neutral position. Step back with the other foot. 1, 2, 3. Down, across, in. Back to the neutral position. Slowly increasing your speed. Coming forward. 1, 2, 3. Back down to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then when you are ready, a little faster. You want to try to start to breathe and flow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over and over again until you're pouring with sweat and you've got blisters on your hands, or at least your muscles are aching. Check out these other videos on how else you can use the Japanese bow staff. I'll see you on the next one.